Introduce the first speaker, and Jimmy's going to do that for me. Were you going to introduce? Oh, you're introducing Jimmy? I'm so confused.
I'm an ad called Scott. I'm grateful to be here this morning. I met Jimmy a few years back, and we had been active in the Knox area, starting some meetings down there, and didn't really get to know him all that well. But about a month ago, he asked me to sponsor him, and I'll tell you, within that month, I had met anybody that got into service work. This guy jumped in both feet into this process. His enthusiasm is infectious, and I love that. You'll enjoy what he has to say, and so I give you Jimmy.
My name is Jimmy. I'm an addict. Our topic this morning is a message of hope. I want to start with the reading out of the book, and then I'm just going to let things go. In Tradition 5, under our traditions, it asks, what is our message? The message is that any addict can stop using drugs, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live. Our message is hope and a promise of freedom. When all is said and done, our primary purpose can only be to carry the message to the addict who still suffers, because that is all we have to give. When I first started coming around tables, I was scared, didn't know what to expect. And back then, my sponsor was Jonathan, and he suggested getting involved with service work. And, for me, that's a big thing, because I'm not a people person. I'm one of them people that's real quiet, keep to myself, and for me to open up and really understand what the message of hope was, it was him guiding me in that direction, letting me get out of myself, and helping me to understand that my responsibility as far as in order for me to recover was not to worry about just myself. It was the ones that were coming in after me. It was the addicts that were still suffering, the ones that were struggling with relapses, the ones that were new and scared, just like I was back then, And a lot of people know I disappeared for a while. I chose to go back out and write another chapter in my life story. And, it wasn't because I forgot what that message was. It was because I got complacent and I thought, I got this. Quit calling my sponsor, quit dealing with my network of friends, and even got to the point where I quit going to meetings. And there's this whole saying, it says, meeting makers make it, and today I believe that. Because honestly, when I finally quit going to meetings, that was what just really dimmed my final light as far as with my recovery, and I started worrying about myself again. Today, it's a different story because I surround myself with people that are positive, people in recovery. If I don't feel that it's going to be positive for me, I'm not afraid to open my mouth. That's what this program has given me. It's given me the hope, and that I know as long as I do things the right way and I carry myself in a manner that is not only appropriate for me, but letting my higher power deal with that manner and putting things in his hands today, instead of trying to keep things Jimmy's way, then I know today that everything's going to be okay tomorrow. And I'm not worried about tomorrow. I'm just worried about making it through today. But my higher power gives me that strength to be able to see them things in a new light. The message for me was simply that without everyone in this room, my predecessors, without taking the suggestions of the people that were here before me and being open to them suggestions. The how of this program, it is our foundation. And if I cannot deal with this on a honest, open mind and willing level, then it's just going to lead me back to another relapse. And that's what this is all about for me today. It's about my recovery and helping them still suffering addicts. Because things today, yeah, they're great. But, you know, I mean, I still go through trials and tribulations, but I don't turn and run like I used to. That's because of the things that I've learned within the literature and from my predecessors, the people that I choose to keep around me today. Because the message I've learned from them is the message that I want to pass on to the newcomers, the ones that are coming in after me, you know? I mean, and that message is simply this. If you are willing to give this program just the least little effort that you use to get that next high, it'll work for you. And, you know, I mean, it's an amazing roller coaster, like Scott said. I mean, I surround myself with service work, recovery. That is my life. My life is my recovery, and my recovery is my life. That's all I have. And without that, I mean, I'm just another using addict. And I don't want to be that using addict anymore. I want to be someone that my peers and my family and my friends can look up to. I want to be someone that if someone has something they're going through, isn't afraid to pick up the phone and call me at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because they know I will answer. I mean, there's been days that I have sat up on the phone till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, but I know when I got off the phone that I kept that addict from using that night, because I know how it felt back then to be that addict that was too afraid to pick up the phone and call people. And that's why I chose to keep using, because I was afraid. I wasn't willing to be open and try to communicate with people. And, you know, I mean, that's our biggest tool is our phone, you know? I mean, because without that, and people that are willing to answer that phone in the middle of the night. I mean, I was going to something a couple weeks ago, and with just changing sponsors, I didn't know what was the appropriate time to call him. Well, I chose to pick up the phone and call another addict because that's what I do today. And that other addict texts my sponsor. I get a text from him about, I think it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. And it kind of shocked me because, I mean, I didn't know he gets up and goes to work early, but, you know, I mean, he's like, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, kind of, but I got some stuff I'm dealing with." So he calls. And, you know, I mean, before we got off the phone, he tells me, he said, "You know what, Jimmy?" He said, "I'm going to tell you right now." He said, "You know, we're new to this." He said, "But I'm going to let you know." He said, "I don't care what you're going through." He said, "If you need to call me anytime, 24 hours a day, you pick up the phone and you call me." Just hearing that from him, it gave me that reassurance that I know I got someone that I can honestly deal with and be open with. And, you know, that's a great feeling to know that you have people that care like that today. And that's the message that we need to carry to addicts that are still suffering, that there is people that do care and that they're not hiding ulterior motives like our old using friends. That's all I got.
And I'm not sure who our second speaker is. Colby? Colby.
My name's Colby. I'm the Thanks for being asked to share. I have no idea what I'm gonna say, so really, thanks to the We Grow with Love committee for putting all this together and making this possible another year. I don't know who tells you thank you, but you need to be told. Yeah, I got up this morning and I was going about my day, and I had to find my lanyard, you know, not because I want to wear it, but because I want to know what time breakfast was. You know, and because I don't want to wear it. I don't want to wear this. I think it's stupid. I think it ain't cool. I don't want to walk around with this on. I want to put it in my pocket so you can't see it. I'm trying. You know, so I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it. I wore it all weekend. And it happens to me at ISNAC too. I don't want to wear it. I don't want to be a part of. You know, but I know that uniqueness has killed me. They say that, they say a lot, but they say we should all treat each other like we're survivors of a near-fatal accident. You know, when we come together, when we get clean in Narcotics Anonymous and we forge those bonds and friendships based in principle, which are foreign to us. And we got these principles and we're clean and, you know, and our lives are being saved. And then after a while, you know, we go our own separate ways. And then I want to pick and choose my principles. Because when I got clean, I'd have done anything. Wear a lanyard, I'll wear it. And then after a while, I don't know. You know, like if I really accepted that I had a fatal disease and someone came to me with the antidote and said, here's the principles that'll save your life. You know, what do? Which ones? What do you mean principles? Which ones are going to save my life? Which ones do I have to practice? Let me think about that. Let me get back to you. Because I don't know, you know. I know I need help. When I got here, I wanted to kill myself. I'd have done anything. And thank God that I went to groups and people welcomed me. And I saw you laughing and hugging and greeting each other, and you hugged me. Because I needed that. You know, I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't come here because it was like a good idea. We see those newcomers come through the door, you know. I don't know why they're there, but I got to assume for me that it's because they don't want to die. Because I know that's the way it was for me. And to see people behave in the way that you do was really remarkable to me. You had a gleam in your eye. You had a spirit that was lifted. You were happy and you were joking. You had on clean clothes. Yeah, and I didn't know if I was going to make it here. You know, so we talk about our message is hope. You know, you did that for me when I saw you at meetings just by showing up. You know, I don't do good. I don't do good when I ain't got dope. I don't do well. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to treat people. I don't know how to treat myself. Thank God for these principles. I came around for a while. I think I had about 30 days. I've been making 1-2 meetings a day and going out for coffee and trying to fit in and learn the language and working a really hard fellowship. And then I wanted to kill myself again. You know, because it really just wasn't working out, these meetings. I wasn't feeling that relief. I didn't know what to do. And I picked up the phone. I had heard this guy share, and I circled his name on the meeting list. I circled his name. Because when he shared, man, he just blew me away, man. I was like, wow. And he answered the phone, and I said, I need some help, man. And so we went and had coffee, and he suggested that I work some steps. Wow, man. So, you know, I started working on some steps, man. I worked steps with him. And that was really, really the beginning of changing the way I think about myself and you and the world and my situation. And that was the start for me. From that transformation, going from hopeless to hopeful, from being self-centered to God-centered. 1, 2, and 3, really. I don't know if it's because I've worked those more than any others. You know, really, when we talk about a foundation, really, it's so necessary for me, especially going into 4 and 5. I gotta have that close relationship with my higher power. I gotta have that. You know, because when I'm in 4, man, I don't want to write that. I don't want to write that stuff. I don't want to write that inventory. I gotta know that there's hope. I gotta know that this is gonna be for good. I gotta know I'm doing this for a reason. I need to have that direction. I need to have that connection. And I gotta have his strength behind me, because when I'm writing, you know, and that stuff starts revealing itself, stuff I didn't want to remember, you know, because let's face it, you know, I'm inventorying stuff that you know, that he wants me to inventory. I ain't writing about the stuff I want to write about. I don't need to write about what I know about. It's what he wants me to write about. You know, and I'm throwing notebooks and pens and cell phones and crying, and I gotta have that hope. I gotta have that connection. I gotta know that this is okay, that I'm gonna be all right, that this is what he wants. You know, because this program for me ain't about what Colby wants to do. This ain't trying to get with Colby, because that didn't work. And it's you people that show me that on a daily basis. Showing up to meetings and sharing about that, how the principles work in your life and how you work steps. I gotta hear that. Because it's so easy for me to get disconnected. I mean, you know, I'm not done picking you apart for the first 5 minutes about why I don't have to listen to you, about why I shouldn't be here. and how you're full of shit. And I've heard this before. I was in utter despair and misery coming here. And we are all truly miracles. My life today is totally different as a result of practicing the principles of Narcotics Anonymous. The message that you give me, that you share with me through your words and your actions, that gives me hope. That I don't have to get high. That the grieving, the pain will go away. That there's no event that I'm going to encounter that's going to cripple me to where I need to get high. I mean, I have to hear that. I don't really have much more. I know that this is a great opportunity. We grow with love. It's always a beautiful experience. One I look forward to all year round. The friendships forged here are lifelong and everlasting. I look forward to seeing everybody. You know, and then I get here and it's like, oh yeah, there's people here. The reason I come, the reason I go. We all get together, you know, and it's a trip because, you know, as soon as I get here, I want to act like how much I got it all together, you know. And that's why I'm here, because I don't have it together. And so it's interesting, you know, to get us all together and to watch those masks fall and those walls break down and those barriers crumble, you know. And by, you know, Sunday morning, the shit's really starting to come out. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And thank God we can do it together in such a beautiful atmosphere. We really do grow with love. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for open mic.
Good morning, family. My name is Rob. I'm an addict. I have been coming to NA for 29 years. And when I first got through the doors, you know, I thought I was a moral deficient. I thought I was the only person that felt like this, that made these same mistakes over and over and over, and I didn't know why I did it. Didn't make any sense to me. I mean, I'm a smart man. I knew that what I was doing was wrong, and while I was doing it, I knew it was wrong. And after I was doing, I always felt like a, worthless piece, a worthless shell of a man. It took me years and years to get to the point to where I was willing to do whatever it took to remain clean and sober. I had a lot of trials and tribulations, which I heard earlier, that I went through to get to that point. It took all of it to get to the point of willingness. I was talking with a gentleman this morning at breakfast, and he has multiple clean years. And it's all in perspective, you know. As an addict, I tend to look at the negatives. You know, I could have 100 great things going in my life, and there'd be one thing that I concentrate on. Hope. Hope. The gentleman I was talking with he was saying that hope is it could be a positive thing and it could be a negative thing. And you know, I didn't understand that when he first said it. And then he explained himself. And he gave me a couple analogies of it, like, well, I hope I can get a job. Or I hope I can get clean. Or I hope that little slot in the door will open and when I go put my dollar in there, or my $10 in there for whatever I'm trying to get. Or, when I was so sick and tired and in despair, isolated and feeling, you know, worthless, I knew there was a place that I could come that had hope, that would give me a life that I never knew before. As a recovering addict, you must be proactive in your recovery. You must be bold. You must go out and achieve recovery. You have to do the footwork. You know, you have to work the steps to the best of your ability. You have to be honest. You have to be willing, and you have to be humble to take suggestions. Me as an addict, I hate constructive criticism. I hate people telling me what to do, and that's the makeup of me. And I pretty much understand that that's most addicts' makeup too. So it's, you know, it's an ongoing struggle. And unless I suit up and show up and do what people tell me to do, you know, I'm destined for a life of hopelessness. And I don't know about you people, but I'm sick of living that life, you know. Like I said, been coming a long time, and all the knowledge that I've learned throughout the years is still there, you know, thank God, you know. My brain stills are still working. I can still use my fingers, you know. I can still share a message of hope. Yeah, I was clean multiple years, and I went out, and I felt hopeless. You know, I felt like I didn't want to. I didn't think I'd ever attain the desire to want to stay clean and sober again. I was like my man Colby there. I was ready to do, you know, the unthinkable. And for me, my God, Jesus Christ, does not want me to do that. He's got a plan for me. And it's none of my business what that plan is, you know. I have to suit up, show up, like I said, and do the footwork. I have a zeal today that I haven't had for years. I really do. I haven't been clean a whole lot of time. The knowledge is still there, but I'm doing good today. My heart is soaring. I'm a child of God today, and there's a reason I'm here. You know, a gentleman, a good friend of mine, you know, brought me to this. I've never been to Camp Mac before, but this is a very, very spiritual thing. You know, I've been networking with people, meeting people, and that's how we do it. You know, we lay it on the line, you know, and let the chips fall where they may. You know, but unless we take that step, you know, and put ourselves out there, we're destined to live a life of resentments, reservations, and repeating the same old mistakes, the insanity of, you know, well, this will work if I try it. No, nothing else works. You know, I've done everything. You know, every combination of things, just like the book talks about. But unless we get open-minded, willing, and honest, which are really basic spiritual principles that we start with, then we're pretty much, for a lack of better words, we're pretty much repeating the same old mistakes, expecting different results, because it's just not going to happen. I, as a recovering addict, have learned a lot throughout the years. I've met a lot of people, and I'm very blessed to be here today. Narcotics Anonymous has saved my life yet again, and I'm blessed to be here, like I said. So hope can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. It's all in your perspective. You know, you can change your perspective at any time. That's the beauty of it. You know, you can hear something, you know, something from somebody that'll just change your way you look at things, or you can turn the page. I don't know how many times I've read that book, and then I'll look at the same thing, and I've read it many, many times, and I'm like, wow, That makes sense to me because you're in a different frame of mind. It's all about change. Every day is different. Every day is a new day to do something positive. And, I try myself I'm working on myself. I'm here for a self-centered reason. I want to live. I don't want to die today. What am I going to do to change from hence what I did before? How did you do it? How did you do it? How did you make it through that relationship problem? Or how did you make it through your father dying? We go through life. Life is, It's ups and downs, ebbs and tides. And it's all on how we interpret it and how we deal with it. And that's why these 12 steps are here. Because me as an addict, my wiring seems to be crossed, So I need to learn this stuff. And I can forget it easily, I can take this or leave that. No, I got to dive into this and do it wholeheartedly. And when I do that, my life tends to just piece together. It just seems to fall together like two cogs together rather than just bumping heads all the time. And, I'm very blessed to be here. I'm having a spiritually fed weekend. And, I can't tell you how much my heart is soaring right now. So thanks for letting me share, and God bless you all.
I'm an addict. My name is Bruce W. I'd like to thank the God of my understanding for being here clean. The message of hope. First, we got to look at the word hope. What is the message of hope? When I had 9 months clean, I went to the World Convention in Baltimore. And that convention was hope. And what I learned from hope, it meant helping other people every day. That's what we do in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, help other people every day. In the rooms and outside the rooms. And when I had to look at it, when I came in, they taught me, chase this like you chase the dope. That's the way the old timers talked to us. They didn't pamper us and tell us we'll come pick you up for the meeting tomorrow. Well, they didn't come pick me up to go to the dope house neither. I had to walk, so I had to walk to the meeting. That's the way I was taught. That's the way I was raised in Narcotics Anonymous, and that's the way I do sponsees today. So if they get mad, then that's on them. My job ain't to get you to the meeting. It's your responsibility to get to the meeting. And once you get there, then we'll get you home. That's just the way I believe. And I remember one time I was getting ready to speak at a convention, and I went in the meeting, I raised my hand, and I asked him, do I write down my notes? And the person told me, he said, see me after the meeting. I said, what the hell am I going to see him after the meeting for? He should have told me right here. And he took me outside, and It Works Out Wide book had just come out. He said, read page 118 and 119. I'm going to read and tell you what he told me. It said, now we must ask ourselves just what is the message we are trying to carry. Is it that we never have to use drugs again? Is it that through recovery we cease being likely candidates for jails, institution, or early death? Is it that hope that any addict can recover from the disease of addiction? Well, it's all of this and more. The message we carry is that by practicing the principles contained within the 12 steps, we have had a spiritual awakening. Whatever that means for each one of us is the message we carry to those seeking recovery. So what they tell me is, I have to work the steps. I don't like to say work the steps, because you can go home, get a paper, get that step working guide book, and go down and answer all them questions and still be dumb as hell. I ain't had no sponsor to take me through the first step. When I got through my first step, my sponsor didn't tell me to go to step 2. I just knew he was. He told me I'd done real good. I said, okay. In my mind, I said, he's going to tell me to go to step 2. He said, now, Bruce, what I want you to do, I want you to go get your simple ass on a service committee and practice the first tradition. I said, well, what about step 2? He said, we ain't gonna worry about step 2. Right now, I want you to go live the principles contained in step 1 and go get your simple ass on the service committee and practice them in the first tradition. And what I learned is the same spiritual principles in the first step, you got to use them in the first tradition. So all the time I've been here, I do step, tradition. They go hand in hand. And then what happens here, it says here, the way in which we carry the message varies our member. There, however, are some basic guidelines that we as a fellowship have found to be helpful. First and foremost, we share our experience, strength, and hope. This means that we share our own experience, not theories we have heard from other sources. And I used to be good at that, hear something on the tape, and go in the meeting and raise my hand and share what I heard on the tape like it was, I think I had about 1.5 years, and I had a guy share about relationships. This girl was in the meeting sharing about her relationship. I raised my hand, and I quoted word for word what homeboy said on the tape. And somebody in the meeting said, such and such has shared that at the convention. That ain't your damn experience. I said, no cross-talking. But she was right. So what I learned from that is, it said, this means we share our own experience, not theories we have heard from other sources. This also means we share our own experience, not someone else's. It is not our job telling someone seeking recovery where to work, who to live with, how to raise their children, or anything else outside the realms of our experience with recovery. Someone we are trying to help may have problems in their area. We can help best by not managing that person's life, but by sharing our own experience in those areas. Now, one of the things here that I've learned in this process is this one here. This the one that get real tricky. Once you start getting honest with yourself, you'll find out certain people quit fooling with you. But that ain't for you to, get mad about. Think about when you was on the street. When you start doing a particular drug, them people that did the other drug didn't fool with you no more. And you didn't fool with them because you was doing something different. So in recovery, when we start applying spiritual principles in our life, and if I got a woman in my life and I'm faithful for the woman, I really don't want to go hang out with Harry and them on the weekends because, they ain't got nobody. But then if I hang with them, I'll do what they do. So over here, we have to do what people do, what other people do. You're going to change friends in recovery. You're going to change, or you either grow or go. That's the bottom line. And it says right here, developing a personal style for carrying the message rests on a simple requirement. We must be ourselves. Each one of us have a special one-of-a-kind personality that is sure to be an attraction to many. Some of us has a sparkling sense of humor, which may reach someone in despair. Some of us especially warm and compassionate, able to reach an addict who has rarely been the recipient of kindness. Some of us has a remarkable talent for telling the truth in no uncertain terms to addict literally dying to hear it. And some of us work good on a service committee, doing better, and then some work better one-on-one with a sponsor or sponsees. So I believe, like my sponsor told me, everybody in Narcotics Anonymous, each has, what's the word? He used the word. Each one of us has a special quality that is, you fit that quality. It's like a puzzle. Some people in here, my particular thing I love more than anything in NA is H&I. That's my thing. I love going to H&I. Some people do good with sponsoring people. Me, I don't never care if I never sponsor nobody in NA because I ain't on that because they ain't going to do what I tell them to do no way, so I don't even deal with that. I really don't. But working one-on-one with a sponsor or helping someone through the steps. If they come and ask me my experience, I share the truth with them, I'm good with that. My favorite is H&I. H&I is my thing. That's my baby. I love H&I. It's a hell of a thing to go to H&I, and the people, anybody been on H&I, you know how the guys or the women be liking when you come in there, and they be in prison or in the treatment center. That's how I like to get back to H&I. Because I wasn't in the dope house and we ran out of crack and somebody said, let's go to NA tomorrow. I never heard of NA till I went to treatment. That's how I first, it was the best kept secret when I was using. I didn't know about it, and I used to see the other fellowship, and I thought them guys at that place, they all had Harleys and stuff, so I thought them people was in the, Hell's Angels. I wasn't going up in there and said, they the Hell's Angels. They got a clubhouse over there. That's what I thought. Till I got clean, and then they said, oh, that's the other fella. That's the alcohol place where they go. I said, bikers is over there? No, they ain't bikers. All kind of people in there, just like you. So I believe a niche, that's the word. Everybody has to find their own niche in Narcotics Anonymous. If everybody do their niche, then the whole thing comes together. And that's the message we carry. That's how we help people. I was in a meeting the other day, and the guy said, I was in the meeting Thursday, and he said, a person that goes in and out, after a while, he don't want to hug them no more, he don't respect them no more, and he don't fuck with them no more. I listened to him, and when he got through sharing, I raised my hand and pulled out my book, and I read to him where in here it says, a person that has multiple relapses, does not, here it is, it said, yet there are limits that we can do to help another addict. We cannot force anyone to stop using. We cannot give someone the results of working the steps, nor can we grow for them. We cannot magically remove someone's loneliness or pain. Not only are we powerless over our addiction, we are powerless over everyone else's. And then it says, it ain't none of our job to decide who's going to get the program and who's not, and he's going to be a great newcomer, he's going to make it. It's our job here it is. Multiple relapse does not necessarily signify lack of interest in recovery, nor does the model newcomer demonstrate without a doubt a certain of making it. It is our purpose and our privilege to share the message of recovery unconditional with anyone expressing a desire to receive it. And I believe if you keep going in and out and you keep coming back, damn it, you got a desire, you coming back in here for something. And if you keep doing that, eventually you'll get it. It's a guy in my area used to do that in and out. Today he got over 4 years clean. So don't tell me about what they should do, because you come in here and got it the first time. You might have got it the first time, ain't never worked the steps since you've been here. So, it ain't right to judge somebody for what they do or where they at. It just ain't right. It's a time I've been in recovery and I'm thinking I'm doing real great because I done worked all these steps. I done applied these spiritual principles in this area of my life. I'm a wonderful recovering addict. But then I ain't worked on the lust issue. I'm over here in the step thing. I'm working there. NA is wonderful. Then I go home and call the people, and I want to talk on the phone, and I want to help you in your recovery. I can help you in your addiction. I have some power over your addiction. The book just told me I'm powerless over my own addiction, so how can I help you with your addiction? How I can help you with your addiction is show you how I live my life in recovery, not try to guide you and tell you I'm powerful to help you over your addiction when I'm powerless over my own damn addiction. With that, I pass.
Hey everybody, my name is Mike Manatic. Grateful to be live and clean. Thanks for the message today, Colby, and everybody else that spoke. used to be a parrot around here, just watching people and trying to mimic what they did. And, it was pointed out to me that I had to leap out on faith and get vulnerable. If I'm going to grow around here, I need to expose who I truly am, not the guy lugging around the big mask. And they also told me things like, we don't read minds. You better tell us what's going on with you. And all these little things that I would pick up on gave me hope. There was a process these people were going through on a daily basis that was cluing them in on how to get better in one way or another with whatever they were struggling with. So there's a method to our madness, and I like to say that, and I've heard said that, there's a tool for every nut in Narcotics Anonymous. And sometimes it's just other people. Colby sharing his message today helped me. The old line that I used to be a dopeless or hopeless dope fiend, today I'm a dopeless hope fiend, really applies. Some people share out of books, some people share their experience, strength, and hope, some people, there's no one way to recover, there's no one, program that's suited only for, this is what you have to do in order to recover. I worked a revolving door recovery, that's just my path. I'm not proud of the fact, and I'm not ashamed of the fact. It got me to where I'm at today. I've got a loving, caring God in my life that works when I have a relationship with him. When I ignore him, then I'm stuck with me again. And I'm the guy that got me here. So I have hope and faith that this process can work for even a guy like me. Fear-based little boy, stuck in a man's body with issues and fear and hopeless. And, today I reach out to other members when I'm clueless, and often I'm clueless. Often I don't know how to respond or feel, or don't know how to determine what I'm feeling, and then I therefore don't know how to act. I really relate when you said I show up and then all of a sudden there's people here. I come to meetings and I put expectations on others. And if I practice zero expectations, I never get let down. So there's things that I've learned around here to continue forth in my recovery where I don't have to disqualify myself. I'm real capable of that because I like to run. That's my niche. Can I see your book, man? Do a little both. I just had an opportunity to finish my 11th step, and I moved on and I read exactly what you read this morning. But I want to read page 112. It's always been my favorite. A couple paragraphs here. Bear with me. We see that regardless of presence or absence of material success in our lives, we can be content. We can be happy and fulfilled with or without money, with or without a partner, with or without the approval of others. We begin to see that God's will for us is the ability to live with dignity, to love ourselves and others, to laugh, to find great joy and beauty in our surroundings. Our most heartfelt longings and dreams for our lives are coming true. These priceless gifts are no longer beyond our reach. They are, in fact, the very essence of God's will for us. In our gratitude, we go on beyond merely asking for power to live up to God's plan for our own lives. We begin to seek out ways to be of service, to make a difference in the lives of another addict, to carry the message of recovery. Our spiritual awakening has opened us up to a spiritual commitment, unconditional love, and personal freedom, knowing that we can only keep these precious gifts by sharing them with others. We go on to step 12. That's where I'm at today. And that's my favorite passage, in all the literature I've ever read. So I feel really blessed to be here in this moment. I didn't even want to come up here, but I had to share that with you. That's what we do. We share our joys and we share our despair. We share our struggles and we share our conquests. And, I got a life worth living today. I got a better quality of problems in my life today. And I'm not fear-based. I have fears. But my ego's not as messed up and twisted and bad as it used to be, because, I had to hit you if I didn't like what you said to me, or I had to ignore you, or I had all these little escapes. And I don't need to escape today. I'm cool in my own skin for once. Freedom from active addiction. This is the gift. And it comes in a myriad of different fashions. And I don't care what your process is. mine is working today. That's all that matters to me in this given moment. I'm here, Milford, Indiana. I never heard of it, until last year. I'm here. I enjoyed it last year. I'm back again this year. It's how it works for me. Something works, I'm going to try to tap into it. It's a spiritual program. I wasn't a very spiritual person. All I knew about how to just take care of me. Today, I get a rush and a high and a sense of freedom and passion out of helping others. And I don't know when that's going to happen. It's not my job to know. I just show up and be me. And if you get something, great. If you don't, okay. Hopefully you can share something with me that I can get. It's a we thing.